Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at HiddenTracks99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. What's up, everybody? I have Jarith from WIFECULT. Sorry about that. I fucked up. It's not White Cult, because that would be something that we probably usually don't talk about on the show, but this is WIFECULT.
Hello.
Sorry about that.
That's all good, man.
What an introduction. So this is not a white supremacist show, so everybody knows this is more about having 15 wives in your house.
That's it. That's it.
But sorry about that. But welcome to the show, Jarith. How you doing, man?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm glad we finally got this in. I was very excited to talk to you, especially after I heard your latest EP. It was I'll put it very simply for you. I was so glad that I found it when I did. So,
oh, dude, that's amazing. Thank you. I'm so glad you found it.
You're being modest. You're being modest. You just came off some dates around Australia with some pretty impressive bands. So, I mean, you got to be pretty proud of what you've created so far.
Oh, massively, man. Those were crazy opportunities for us. So, yeah, just so excited to see what comes of it and what we can do. You know, like those Thrice and La Dispute are the two bands that we just went on tour with. And they're two of my favorite bands since I was like 12, 13 years old. So I was, having some crazy fanboy moments for sure. Just trying to play it cool. But yeah, it's just an absolute mind boggle to write your own songs and for a band that you look up to appreciate them and want to take you on the road with them. It's crazy.
And listen, and for people that may just be tuning in for the first time on this episode with you, but for those who you've been around, I've talked about all the bands out of Australia that are amazing. And listen, you made Thrice's 5 best bands in Australia.
Yeah,
so that's got to be pretty dope.
It's crazy. We still feel like we're little no ones at the moment, so it's super super cool.
Well, if you keep creating the music that you've already created, you will not be no one's. So
let's hope so, because I got bills to pay. So
we all do. So, but why don't you give me a little background about how WIFECULT started? I mean, unfortunately, you had the indelible act of releasing your first album it was the year 2020, which if people don't remember back then, some crazy shit was going on. But
I barely remember. I was dissociating the whole year.
But you carried on, and you got to hear and you released your latest EP, which, Kindness and Clarity, which is just fucking beautiful. And so why don't you give us that little journey to how you guys became a band and then to where you are today?
Totally. It's a kind of long-winded story, so I'll try and keep it brief. But
no, hey, listen, we're a long-winded format here. We're okay. Good.
Well, when I was 3 years old, no, actually, funny enough, when I was 3 years old, I started playing drums, which was just my entire world until I was probably, 15, 16 before I decided to try to play guitar. But I was just a mad keen drummer and wanted to play drums in everyone's bands, grew up playing drums in church. Like that was all I ever wanted to do. And then, started dabbling on guitar, but never like considered myself a guitarist or a songwriter or anything like that. But I guess fast forward to 2015, I would have been like 23, 24. My wife got a job offer to move to Melbourne, which we were living in Queensland at the time. So it was a job offer to move across states, start a whole new life. I didn't really have too many friends or connections down there. So I got to Melbourne, and it's supposed to be like the music capital of Australia, the art capital of Australia. Like there's just so much cool shit going on. But I felt like I didn't know anyone, and I was just contained to my bedroom and sad, and started trying to write some songs. So and when you're first trying to write songs, I mean, even after you've been writing songs for years, you just don't know what's good sometimes. You're like, I think this is cool, but at the same time, it could be the worst thing anyone's ever heard. Like your gauge or radar for like quality of your own material is pretty skew-iff when you haven't got a lot of your own material. So I was just writing songs or trying to write songs. And then I ended up sending some demos over to one of my best mates who is from Salt Lake City, but now lives in Nashville, Andrew Goldring. He's a phenomenal musician and producer. Sent some demos over to him, and he was like, bro, this is really cool. If you ever want to like just fly back over and track these songs, like let's call it a holiday / recording trip. Let me know, and I'll block out some time in my calendar, and we can actually record these songs. So that was a crazy offer. Like obviously he's one of my best mates, but for anyone to want to dedicate a couple of weeks of their time for you to record some songs, at a minimal or zero fee is an opportunity you don't usually turn down. So
that had to have been a pretty good gauge of the songs that you wrote, right?
Yeah, I mean,
there.
there was a lot of imposter syndrome, and I was like, oh, he's just doing me a favor because he's a mate, but I'm still going to go and do it because I want to hear these songs fleshed out into real recordings. So I flew over to Salt Lake City in 2017 by myself. My wife is from Salt Lake City too. She's American, but this was a weird trip where I flew back over to her home state by myself. stayed with her friends and her family so I could record a record while she stayed in Melbourne and worked her butt off. It was pretty surreal. But yeah, we spent like 3 weeks in this studio that Andrew was co-renting with Aaron Gillespie from Under Oath at the time. So there was an array of beautiful drums and guitars and amps and stuff for me to make lots of noise on. We tracked the record. I flew back home and I went back to my shitty day job and had no band. Still didn't really have anyone to play with. And I was now sitting on an album's worth of material. And I didn't know what to do with it. So I kind of sat on it and started trying to piece together a band of a couple mates in Melbourne to just play some local shows and flesh out the material. And Melbourne's an incredible city for music, but when you're starting out, it can be pretty harsh. It's hard to get your foot in the door when there's so many incredible established and up-and-coming bands that are occupying venues and selling tickets, and you're a no one that no one's ever heard of. And they're like, well, maybe you can open and do a 15-minute spot at the start. I'm like, cool. So I get to play 3 or 4 of my songs. Like,
yeah,
how does this work? So it's
hard to get a rhythm, right?
Yeah, definitely.
3 songs, but I mean, it's an opportunity, which
absolutely
that's the big thing, right? Is the opportunity and grasping it.
Yeah, and you got to just take whatever you can, and everyone starts somewhere. So we bashed around for a couple of years, played some cool shows around Melbourne, and then I ended up actually sitting on the record for about 2 years. It took about 12 months for me to get some mixes and masters done. I guess side tangent, I just listened to your episode with Nate Hussey, who I love that man so much. I don't know him personally, but
he's an amazing man. He just great conversation. We got close real fast, and he did me one of the biggest solids ever, where Furnace Fest, I see him, I'm like, hey man, what's up? I brought you a shirt. He rips off his shirt, he puts my shirt on and goes on stage. Yeah. And I was like, that's fucking dope. Like, that's a great fucking human being.
Yeah, he's so cool. So we share a mutual friend, which is Andrew, who recorded my album. Andrew has played drums with All Get Out for a couple of tour stints and has done some like co-producing stuff with him. So yeah, I think Nate was initially supposed to like master the record or something. I can't remember what happened, but it took a minute for some mixes and masters to come back. And then I just sat on it for 2 years because I wasn't sure the best way to release. I had put so much effort and heart into the record and didn't want to just cold release it. But that's exactly what I ended up doing because I had a little frustration fit in the middle of COVID, and I was like, screw it. Like, I'm just going to put this record out into the abyss, and maybe no one will ever hear it, or maybe someone will hear it, and we'll just see what happens. So we threw it out and were unable to back it up with any shows or anything like that because Melbourne, I think, holds the record for like the most locked down city in the world during COVID. There was a lot of time spent at home just wondering if it was ever going to return to normal. So I think things opened up for a minute, like literally for a week or two, and we managed to play one show once the record was out, which was amazing. And then it all shut down again. So then my wife and I decided to move back to Queensland to be close to my family because we were all spread apart, and Brandy and I were quite isolated in Melbourne at the time. We just felt like moving home close to family was the right thing for us in that season. So we waited for the next opportunity when the borders were open again and moved back to Queensland, which felt like it could have been a giant step backwards and or the death of my so-called music career because I was moving from the city where everything's supposed to be happening back to my hometown and didn't have a band to take with me. So we moved back to Queensland, and I kind of already knew like one of my best mates, Joey, who now plays bass and sings with me in WIFECULT, was really keen to get on board and flesh these songs out with me. So then I needed a drummer, and I'd heard along the grapevine that BradVander Lugt, the drummer from La Dispute, actually lived on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland where we lived. And I saw him post an advert or whatever on Instagram for drum lessons. So I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to go get some drum lessons from Brad, because this dude's literally one of my favorite drummers, and his breadth of playing, like his styles, he can play like hard and fast, delicate, slow, like his dynamic range is amazing. And he's very much like a songwriter's drummer. So I was like, I want to learn what I can from this dude. And I rocked up to his house with a pair of sticks, which I don't think we used. We just sat for like 2 hours and talked about music and religious trauma and all sorts of Ram Dass, and like with the conversation just went on forever. And I was like, I actually really like this dude. He's really cool. So yeah, after we got chatting, he was like, man, show me some of your stuff. Showed him some songs. He's like, okay, cool. Do you want to jam sometime? I was like, oh my God, no way. Like, there's no way this dude's going to offer to play drums for my band. That's ridiculous. Lo and behold, he rocks up to our shitty little rehearsal space with my broken drum kit and some torn up PA speakers and guitar amps piled into a shed. And we bashed through a bunch of songs. And I was like, okay, I guess this is the band now. It's literally one of my best friends and phenomenal singers and guitarist, songwriters, Joey, and one of my favorite drummers in the entire world, and me. This is ridiculous. So it's in one sense, it felt like the band got a whole new second wind, and the songs and material that I had written like quite literally years ago got a whole new life and a whole new chance to be played in front of crowds in another state, in front of friends and family and people that had never seen us before. So I guess because we are still a small band, it just felt like a restart. So I'll always give a nod to the Melbourne history of WIFECULT, but it definitely feels like the band became a band and not just my solo project plus friends once I moved to Queensland and started playing with Brad and Joey.
So you kind of created your own artistic spot in Queensland, instead of Melbourne being that was the place. You get to start a new place, right? Mm-hmm. And that's pretty awesome in and of itself.
And eerie because it's where I grew up. Like, it's our hometown, and it's gorgeous. It's like a really pristine coastal kind of touristy holiday sort of place. So people move here to buy a boat and go fishing or surf, or like, it's very much a relaxed lifestyle place. And there is a bit of an underground art culture here, but it's quite small. So moving back, I was like, I'll just be playing shows to 10 people in the pub again. But I was quite surprised after COVID had happened. A lot of people migrated up here, and a lot of artists from all corners of the country and the world have planted themselves here, and there's a really cool art scene happening. And yeah, it was just funny to like think that I was taking a giant step backwards that actually ended up being a leap forward. And sometimes you got to do that, I guess.
Well, you always got to try to take something that maybe you never saw was there and, take the little bit of thing and make it bigger. And that's essentially what you did. You went back feeling that I don't even know what's going to happen, but
tail between my legs.
Yeah. And next thing you know, the greatest things happen.
Yeah.
And
100%.
So you can't always, it's always hard to have that outlook, right? To just be like, well, here I go. It didn't work out. We're going back, and I'm just going to whatever. And then everything happens, which is awesome. And that's the best part about life. And everything happens for a reason. And I'm that person that, unfortunately, I say way too much. Everything happens for a reason. But I always believe you don't need to know what the reason is. just let it go, and you never know what can happen.
Sometimes the reason's not for you. Sometimes you need to be somewhere for someone else. But yeah, it's all a big mystery, dude, and I love it. I'm learning to let go of my concept of reality and just embrace what is.
That's why I love waking up every morning, because I never know what the day has in store for me.
That's it, man. I'm naturally a pretty pessimistic, grumpy dude, so I'm working really hard to try and change my outlook on life. And you know, it's work, but just the payoff and the rewards from taking a chance on positivity have been amazing.
Well, I'm glad you got that. Get the rewards and get to use them.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, at 3 years old, playing the drums, how did that start? Like, what was the thing that led you to be a drummer at 3 years old?
My dad is like, he's an 80s, 90s rock dog. He played guitar in bands and church and stuff. So there was always music going on at home. I'm the first child as well, so I guess he just wanted to throw music at me, which I'm so glad he did. I think I just got given like one of those little kids drum kits for my third birthday, like one of the toy kids drum kits. And I remember playing it, and it sounded like shit, and I was kind of bummed. And like, you're 3, so you don't know. You're just like, oh, yeah. This isn't what I'm hearing out of the speakers. And so I like watched my dad take the bass drum head off, shove a pillow in it, cut a hole in it, get like a screwdriver or something, and start cranking up the snare head, which is like, you know, like a tiny 8-inch toy snare, but he cranks it right up. And then I start hitting it. I'm like, this sounds like what I'm hearing out of the speakers. And I just probably never stopped from there.
That's I can't believe that. I'm trying to think. I am an old fuck now, but trying to think back to 3 years old and trying to remember anything about that time, and to have a memory like that is pretty awesome. And someone who threw music in front of you, I had a great journey through music and had a lot of different influences around me in my life, which was just so pivotal in my musical journey in life. And for you, your dad throwing music at you, and you know, the 80s and 90s rockhead that he was, what was it for you that you first like latched onto, that started to, when you noticed what a sound was there a band or an artist that completely grabbed your ear at that young age that you remember?
Yeah, like my memory's blotchy. They were definitely reinforced by photos in a bucket somewhere in mum and dad's shed, but there's little glimpses and memories of being like, it must have been like a baby or a toddler or something, and dad driving me around. They say to try to get me to sleep, because apparently I wouldn't sleep. It's Lemonhead's Car Button Cloth record.
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing it years down the line, and it just like kind of triggering flashback memories of sitting in the back of the car, staring out the window in the blistering heat before AC was a thing, I guess, or before we had a car with AC. Yeah, I think that Lemonheads record, it held a really special place for me. And funny enough, it's a sonic influence that I'm always kind of turning back to and trying to integrate into what I do now, because it feels like home.
Yeah, and with that too, like that was for me, that was when Evan Dando was at his peak of just creating things. And it, you know, had the pop sensibilities to it, and you got to enjoy the pop sound that was the Lemonheads. But he also was playing and trying different things, and it worked for him.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, we are where we are today with the Lemonheads. But I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Dude, I jumped on YouTube the other night because I saw that they were playing shows again, and he opened the show by tuning his guitar at full volume. And he like put a capo on, which pulled it out of tune. So then it was like 3 or 4 minutes of tuning at full volume before they kicked into a song. And I thought it was the coolest freaking thing I'd ever seen. I was like, this is so rock and roll. This dude does not give a fuck. But then they started singing. I was like, oh no, this just is chaos.
Yeah.
And you can be there for it and enjoy it and appreciate what it is, but it's definitely a step aside from the classic records and where he was at when they came out.
Well, I was out to dive into that for a second. I was out in Denver to see the Jawbreaker Dear You tour.
Cool.
And I met a couple guys from LA in the bar beforehand, and we're just talking about music, and they're like, oh yeah, last night in LA we saw Lemonheads. I was like, oh yeah, how was that? Because I'm gonna see them, in a couple months. And the guy just goes, he goes, I think I've been to probably 1,500 concerts in my life. It was the worst one I've ever been to.
Oh, damn.
I was like, get the fuck out of here. And he pulls out his phone and he shows me some videos. I was like, no. He's like, yeah. He goes, it was the most ridiculous thing I ever saw. He goes, I never thought I'd get to see an idol in even though they were popular at one point, they were still like an indie popular band. Yeah. And he's like, I never thought I'd see someone of that grace and stature in the music world get booed.
Oh shit.
And I was like, oh fuck. So after that happened, they actually canceled the shows that I was supposed to see him out over here in New York and New Jersey. Damn. And they said, okay, a couple months went by after they canceled. Okay, we're going to come back out. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to that. And two of my friends still went, and they were like, no, I guess everything you told us from those guys is 100% accurate, because they're like, I was embarrassed to be there. I was like, that sucks,
man. That's a life of hard drugs for you, I guess. It's sad. I mean, look, if they come to Australia, I'm going to go. I might just lower the bar of my expectations a little bit, but I'll be there.
Well, that's tomorrow night. I have tried to get so many people to go with me. Nobody wants to go. It's 20 minutes from where I currently live. Corey Feldman. I don't know if you know who he is, the actor and musician, apparently. But he's playing 20 minutes away from me for like $8.
Oh,
you're like, dude, it's a train wreck. They're like, I've watched videos of it on. I'm like, it's a Sunday night. Yeah. Like, I'm going.
Yeah.
It starts 100%. At 5:30. And I'm going with low expectations, and I could be blown out of the water, and then all you guys are going to miss out. But I need to see this.
Just go for a beer. Just go, sit at the bar, have a drink, see what happens.
Yeah.
You can't, you don't know if you don't go.
Exactly. So you always got to try and go out there and get there. Now, if you grew up with, the music in your life, when was your first concert? Like, did your dad, since he loved music so much, drag you out to a show? Do you remember what your first concert ever was?
Yeah, they will tell you that it was the Wiggles when I was like, again, 2 or 3. The first one that I remember, I don't know. I think the first ones I remember going to see a band that I wanted to see.
Yeah, so the first one you picked
would have been, so we had a Christian music festival in Australia, very similar to like Cornerstone in the States, I guess. And Blindside, which is like a Swedish emo rock band. It's still one of my favorite bands of all time. They were playing like the big Friday night rock stage thing. So I begged mum and dad to take me to see Blindside. And I think it was held in a town that was like 4 hours away from where we lived. We piled into the minivan and drove to a crazy little town. And I got to watch Blindside play. And it was like life-changing. Just seeing, when you're a kid and you're obsessing about music, like you kind of, and when you don't get to see a lot of shows as a kid, you kind of fantasize what it would be like to see them. Like you imagine like, how big's the stage going to be? And how loud are the drums going to be? And like, it was just everything I had imagined and more. The light shows, the smoke, like the amount of noise coming out of the speakers. I'm like, this is incredible. why is there not 1 million people here? Like, everyone should have to see this. This should be compulsory. And then, that kind of kickstarted it for me. I was like, that's it. I'm starting a band. I'm going to play drums in a band, and I want to get to a point where I can play a stage like this.
So did you start a band?
I did. What
was the name of that band?
That band was called The 1-2. It
Not
was
bad. For your very first band name.
Get this. It was a 2-piece rock band. Me and another one of my really good friends, Jack. I think we started it when we were like 12, 13. And it was cool. It actually was really cool. Jack had an incredible, and still does have an incredible like songwriting sensibility. And I guess at the time we were playing a lot of local shows, all ages gigs. Like the council used to put on little mini music festivals and stuff. So we'd be playing all around at like 13 years old, which was awesome. Got to cut our teeth and learn what not to do and how to play in front of people instead of just in the shed.
Well, and that's a big experience now where I remember growing up, and today, even though the arts kind of took a hit in school and everything over here in the States, but it was nowadays there's all these awesome things that they have for kids that at the School of Rock where you go, you learn to play, you learn to be in a band, you learn to perform and be on a stage. And, when I was a kid, it was whoever in your neighborhood for some reason had an instrument and you just had to figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of the stuff was, it was so hard, you didn't learn that stuff when you were in music class in school because it was just clarinets and saxophones and all that kind of shit. And so you never knew how to learn to be in a band or play together or how it was supposed to work. And nowadays it's awesome. My wife, somebody she works with, their kids are in the School of Rock, and we've gone to see them perform at, bars. I'm like, these kids are 10 years old. They're in bars and they're playing. Like, this is fucking nuts.
That's so cool.
I couldn't imagine doing that back when I grew up. Like, it didn't compute back then. And you got to figure back in the 90s, it was probably easier to get into a bar as a 10-year-old to try to play something than it is now. But it's just, it's amazing to see how far things came. And for you to have that opportunity to be 13 years old and play these local shows and some festivals being put on, I mean, that's the fucking learning experience. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, dude. We played a lot, and it was like we genuinely loved it. We didn't play sports. We didn't really care about anything else. We just, every chance we had, we were in the shed trying to write a new song or trying to play the song we just wrote even faster. And we were just obsessed. And that's, again, like everything happening for a reason. That's just to happen upon a friend at the age of 12, 13 who plays guitar and sings and wants to start a band as well. Like, that's kind of rare. A lot of kids in that age group don't have a whole lot of plans to do much. Like, you like to hang out and chill with your friends or whatever. But I was like, no, I want to work at this. I want to sit in the shed and grind it out and sweat and like do this until my ears are ringing. So to find people to do that with is rare, but it's gold, Well,
and that's the thing too. It's just like trying to do schoolwork, right? It's work. You have to want to do it. And that's the thing too, at 13 years old, to find something that you want to do, and especially with someone else, and you can see what you can do is awesome. And to have that, as you look back at things like that, you're 13, right? And you're playing music, and it can be recorded and played back to you and all that kind of stuff. But when you're in school, you're taking a test, nothing comes back to you. There's no gratification. There's no learning experience. There's no, hey, I failed this fucking test and that's it. Like, there's no second chance, but music, there's a second chance.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I do wish I paid more attention in school. And
we all do, but we are where we are because of who we are. So
that's
changing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, when you're that young and you're starting and learning, trying to write songs and stuff, man, what were you like pulling from things that you were hearing, or were you just trying to do what sounded good to you?
Both, I guess. Like we listen to music nonstop. You know, I think that's something that's kind of changed in the age of like, you know, YouTube exploding and podcasts exploding and all that sort of stuff. Like people can diversify what they spend all of their spare time doing. But for us, it was just listening to music. Like I would just rinse records and analyze them and pull them apart. And how did he do that fill there? And why are the drums quiet in this part and then really loud in that part? And how do harmonies work? Like just really get into the guts of it and try to like break it down and understand it so that we could try to do the same thing. And like it's nerd shit, but when you love something, you go all in. So we would write songs and be like, okay, cool. This one has like a 13-year-old Blink 182 / My Chemical Romance feel. We'll put that in that category. Let's write another one that feels like Creed without the butt rock voice. And then we'll see if we can play them next to each other without like dividing the audience. So, you know, you try
the butt rock voice. I love it.
Dude, I'm literally wearing a Creed t-shirt right now. I am unironically the biggest Creed fan. And
fucking
please, Creed, if you're listening, let us open for you.
I think they just started actually playing again recently.
Yeah, dude. I saw that. I do hope they come here because I'll be there. They are, you know, everything in life gets made fun of when it's 10, 15 years old, and it's the butt of all jokes, and it's the cringy gimmick thing. But like at that time when was it Human Clay came out, that record was huge, and that was probably one of the first records that like Dad let me listen to because it was like kind of Christian rock, you know, and it was massive.
It was massive. That's the thing when people make fun of shit, right? And listen, we've all probably made fun of Nickelback, and
hell yeah,
somebody said something to me once, and I'm just like, hey, listen, there's no way that everybody that talks about them hates them because they sold 70 million fucking records.
Absolutely, dude. They're also so self-aware. They sell merch that makes fun of themselves. I'm like, this is what it's about. Like, you can't take yourself too seriously. That's kind of like. It's kind of, you kind of show that you're like a little insecure or something if you have to be so goddamn serious about what you do. Like this is it's art, it's expression. It can be fun. Like you can lean into like what might feel authentic and genuine to you that other people find funny. It's like who cares? Like it's all expression.
And that's the thing about art. Once you put it out there and it's no longer locked in your closet, it doesn't belong to you anymore.
No, it's not yours.
So anybody you have to accept what anyone's going to say or do or you know about it because it's not yours. It's no longer yours. Once you take it out of that safe, it doesn't belong to you anymore. So hey, fuck it. It doesn't matter.
That's it. And then to have the guts to keep going. Like when someone's like, oh, the butt rock voice, Nickelback. You're like, yeah, but they're still making records, dude. They're still selling records. There's still like, if you put headphones on and listen to it on your own, not around a bunch of people, you're probably going to like it. Like the social norms of making fun of Nickelback. It's like, yeah, okay, I see that. But like those dudes are packing out stadiums.
That's why I like to listen to a lot of music with my earphones on.
Yeah, exactly. Me too, dude. Me too.
Because I never know. You know, I'm cranking the soundtrack to Les Mis and someone walks in on me. What the fuck are you doing? I thought you were like punk rock. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
This is punk rock. This is punk rock in 1742 in fucking Paris. Leave me alone.
Absolutely, dude. I was listening to opera the other day on my way to work. I was like, funny, you said you live like, what, New York, Jersey?
Yeah, I live right out. Yeah.
So I was binging The Sopranos, and there's a scene where I think Tony's like driving, listening to opera. I'm like, dude, that's so cool. I want to drive to work and listen to opera. So I just put it on some kind of like Spotify opera playlist, cruising to work, and I pull up at the stoplight, and I didn't realize how loud it was. And the dude next to me is looking at me going, what the fuck's going on here? Oh, shit,
What is this kid doing?
Bro, I'm rocking out, man.
Yeah. Hey, that's fucking punk rock, because you don't give a fuck. You're enjoying it.
Oh, I definitely turned it down a bit. Like I'm not crazy. No. But yeah, I mean, it's all expression, hey.
That's awesome. Yeah, so The Sopranos, where everybody's like, Jersey. The only thing people ever ask, they're like, is it like The Sopranos and Jersey Shore? I'm like, it's nothing like Jersey Shore.
Good.
It's everything like The Sopranos.
Fuck, dude.
That's where, so everything is like, for The Sopranos was filmed in the area that I live in. So that's where I am.
So cool. That's awesome, man. I love that show.
Now, from opera to other influences in your life, was there like when you were growing up, a band that you just constantly turned to for your pick me up or bring me down, that you would say, as I say, Rolling Stones says it's your favorite band? I just say a band that never let you down and was always there when you needed them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I probably have a list of them, to be honest.
Okay, let's run down that list.
Let's do the list. I guess, look, I actually had a conversation about this with a friend yesterday about no longer turning a blind eye or pretending like the first 18 years of my Christian rock world didn't exist, and because it did. And there were bands like Blindside, POD, MXPX, Under Oath. They were my bands.
Everything on Tooth and Nail.
Dude, yeah, 100%, man.
Like that Tooth and Nail and Equal Vision. I mean, that's where people, I always try to point out that, yeah, it was Christian rock, but it wasn't. They were still doing their own thing, but they were able to do it just a little bit different. And when I hated when people be like, oh, you listen to that Christian shit? I'm like, it's not, dude. It's fucking music. It's just fucking music. It's great music. Get off your fucking high horse and fucking give it a listen, and without having any of that fucking stupid shit in your head that it's Christian rock. Like, it's not. It's just fucking awesome music. So fuck off and listen.
Dude, absolutely. And I mean, at the time, it was something that I held on to and believed in. And so I probably had that same attitude towards non-Christian music at times. I was like, oh, look, I really like listening to Under Oath, but I'm not going to listen to Bring Me the Horizon because I don't know what they're all about. And, in hindsight, it's all ridiculous. But there were exceptions. I did have a Blink-182 CD, a burnt copy of a Blink-182 CD that I had written Hillsong United on, so that when mom and dad saw my Walkman, they'd think I'm rocking out to Jesus and not to Blink-182. that happened. But yeah, I guess for me, bands that I clung to definitely had a darker, not always angry, but sometimes a somber or a darker kind of side to them that, when everything's shiny, happy, clap your hands for Jesus sort of thing, you're like, that's not real life. I'm a moody teenage boy that has a million questions and fucking hormones raging through my body. I want to smash things and I want to cry. And that was the music that kind of helped me do that. So very grateful.
Yeah. And being a kid and trying to find music, which is funny when you look back at maybe what you were listening to and if you're still listening to it today. And I actually go back and say everything that I grew up listening to, I still listen to.
Yeah, me too.
So I never threw anything out, even when it was something that maybe it didn't hit me. I always go back to the Springsteen thing where, when I was a kid, I'm from Jersey. The day you're born, the doctor hands you a Springsteen CD.
You get baptized by the boss.
Exactly. And I never got it as a teenager. I didn't get it because he was a 35, 40-year-old man writing songs for 45-year-old men. But it was so pushed on you to the point now where, listen, I still don't go throw on Springsteen, but now I get it and I can listen to it. When back then I couldn't. But just growing up and trying to figure out certain things. And I'm one of those people where I get a lot of flack because I just never understood the Beatles.
I didn't either until I met my now wife. She loves the Beatles.
So you had an educator.
Yeah. And her dad, Jim Robertson. This dude, man, everyone needs to meet Jim Robertson. He's Keith Richards, but he's like Keith Richards / some kind of 80s shredder. He's just an absolute rock dog. He's like probably nearly 70 years old. He still plays his Flying V through a cranked Marshall amp through a full stack in the basement of his suburban home. The house is rattling, the neighbors are screaming, and he's just rocking out. Like, he's the coolest dude. But when he was a kid, he would go to the record store and he would buy 2 copies of the Beatles records as they were released. So he has one that's still in a sleeve, untouched. And then he has one that was like the one that he would play. And I guess like every birthday or Christmas or something like that, he would end up giving me one of his Beatles records, like the ones that he had been playing. So I've got like original copies of Abbey Road and Let It Be, and actually quite a few of them.
Wow.
And so I would sit and listen and be like, what's this all about? I don't get it. Like it kind of feels like cheesy kids music because it's before my time. But the more time I spent with it, I was like, oh, this is clever. Oh, they were the first to do this. Oh, okay. So I love them now, but it took time.
I've always tried, and what I do is like I do my own lessons, right? Like I travel a lot. So if I'm on a long road trip, I will say, okay, I'll take this band, most recent one I did every Led Zeppelin album. Cool. And this is all I'm listening to for the next 7 hours while I'm in the vehicle. And, I've tried to do it a bunch of times with the Beatles. And for me, like the only thing I can think of and every band that I love and is still some of my favorite bands in my life, it all comes from that. It really does, with the harmonies, and it really all comes from that.
Absolutely.
But I just still like, I don't know. I sang in 3rd grade. I had to sing "Let It Be" in a Beatles concert.
Yeah,
and
scarred you.
I think that might be it.
Yeah,
even though I'm pretty sure I probably fucking killed it. Yeah. But I mean, I probably was like, I had to listen to the Beatles over and over again, probably for months before we had this whole thing in school. But yeah, I don't get it. And for people, I get why people love them, but for me, I don't know what it is. And I'm waiting for that day where I can just be like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah, totally.
It's really hard. And I feel terrible. Like I own one Beatles album.
That's more than none.
Yeah. I own one. And everybody's like, if you're going to Rubber Soul. Everybody's like,
cool.
If you're going to own one, that's what you got to own. And like, I play it and I listen to it. And I'm like, all right, I got 2 songs that I dig. And then the rest, I'm just like, I'm still trying. It's just weird. Right. I guess I'm just I'm that asshole. I'm that one guy in the world. The Beatles it just didn't get me. It's weird.
I reckon try the Sgt. Pepper's record. If you like kind of, it's not all angry rock, but I feel like there's little aggressive moments in it where I'm like, okay, I click with this. But dude, they were out there. Those guys punched out every record within the 8 years of them being a band. Like you're not going to write a million hits doing that, but
no, listen, nobody
close.
Yeah. And nobody does, everybody's got their stinkers, and that's fine. And, and everybody has to be okay with that too. You're not going to write an album of hits every time you do it.
Mm. Also, like, what kind of music do you make when you are the biggest band in the whole world?
Yeah. 'Cause you don't have to anymore.
No, but you also like, everyone's looking at you. So you're like, well, okay, they like what I've done. And there's a lot of people mimicking our last record or whatever. But like, what do we do now? Like it's pretty amazing that they created such a vast, diverse catalog of music, because they definitely could have just stuck with the early shit and ran it. ran it all the way out. But they just kept trying new things. They kept, pushing boundaries.
They did so many things at a certain point that a lot of people may know this, may not know this, but they got so big so fast and did so many things so quickly. It scared the greatest performer of all time almost into retirement. That was Elvis.
Yeah. Dude.
Like the Beatles came out and they like took over, and Elvis like was unsure of himself. He got really depressed. He didn't know if he could do it anymore. And that was the whole reason for his 68 comeback special. Like, and he had to be talked into doing it and say, being told, hey, listen, you're still a draw. You're still awesome. You're still great at what you do. But he was scared of him. And that's to think he was the biggest. And then these four guys come along and fucking knock him off the mountaintop and scare the shit out of him because they were so talented. Like, that's fucking nuts. Like, that's crazy. What they did.
I'm pretty sure like they're the reason why the PA systems that we have now exist as well. Like the performances they did in the baseball field somewhere in the States when they did that tour, like there was not anything in existence that could put out enough volume to cover the screaming crowd. So those dudes would just sit on a stage, play their songs through their tiny like 30, 40 watt amps through, I'm pretty sure it was like the baseball announcement system, like the vocals were getting pushed through and no one could hear them. Like, I've never been to a show where the whole crowd is screaming so loud that you can't hear the band for their entire set. But that would have been insane.
Yeah.
Insane enough for people to be like, let's make some louder sound systems, shall we?
Yeah. I went to it as I told everybody, and I've mentioned it before, the last show before the world shut down in 2020, I was at the Get Up Kids and Dashboard Confessional.
Yeah, cool.
And it was the day before the world shut down. And I walked out of that show. Even though I love both those bands, I walked out because it was 1,500 people singing at the top of their lungs that I couldn't even hear Chris sing on stage. And I was like,
whoa.
I'm like, okay, New York City has an eerie feeling as it is that it only took me 28 minutes to get into the city when it normally takes me an hour for the 12 miles I got to go.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'm not enjoying this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go.
Fair enough.
I was like, you guys paid money to see him sing. Stop.
Oh my God.
I get one song.
And like, not everyone's blessed with like pitch. So when you're next to someone who's like singing their own goddamn song almost, and you're like, I actually just want to hear the singer sing, please.
Yeah. Like, yeah. I paid for them, not you.
Yeah. So funny. Oh well, people love it.
That's what you got to deal with though when you go to shows. So
yeah, I mean, dude, honestly, if anyone wants to sing along to my song, I don't care if you're in key or not. Just the fact that they know the words is crazy.
Well, so. I'll sing a couple with you if you're ever in the States.
Hell yeah, dude! I'll throw a mic into the crowd for you.
So when it comes to your band, when someone has never heard your band and you say, "Hey, why don't you check us out?" What song would you play for them or tell them to listen to that would be the best description of what you are?
I would say our song Hold It Down is probably the best generalization of like the variety of our sound. It has huge rock riffs and big drums and big choruses, but the verses are quite delicate. I wrote all of those songs and recorded them myself before I had moved up to Queensland. So it's the last catalog of the solo Jarith material, thank God. And I feel like that song in particular kind of encapsulates all of the loud parts and the soft parts that I try to channel into the songs.
All right, that's it's different than what I would play.
Really? Which one would you play?
Yeah, Rose.
Oh, true. You know what? Can I talk about that song real quick?
Absolutely, man. That's what we're here for.
So when I'm just gonna go on a tangent because I can.
Tangent away.
Tangent away. Yeah, there was a moment in time living in Melbourne where I was trying to write some new songs and actually wanted to flesh them out in front of people before I committed to them. And so I found an open mic night happening at a pub around the corner. So I would just mosey down, didn't tell anyone, didn't post it on Instagram, nothing. I just wanted to roll into a pub and play some songs and see what happened. Didn't realize it was a competition. And I ended up doing like 2 or 3 rounds of it and then winning the thing. And it was a recording voucher for a studio in the city, which was a really nice studio.
Wow.
So as fate would have it, I'm like, okay, I now have a voucher to record these songs. What the fuck? So I smashed them out. But once I got them all back, there was a couple of songs that didn't make the EP that I was like umming and ahhing over. I was like, should I actually just spend the money, go in and record this song instead? Because everyone kept telling me that Rose was the weakest song. They're like, look, dude, yeah, take that, mom. No, the people were like, yeah, look, it's cool, but it like, you know, it doesn't have the rock feel. Like it doesn't have maybe it's a bit poppy. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it hits as hard. But there was just something in the song, like especially lyrically, it sits very close to my chest. So I'm like, I'm going to back this song, even though all of you have made me think that I should cull it from the EP. And I'll put it out. And we put it out last because I was like, look, if everyone's listened to the other songs, it'll just be the last one at the end of the EP, and maybe some people will dig it. I don't know. And we released it. Dude, we released it, and it has been on some editorial playlists for like 3 months now, which is absurd. And it's got the most plays out of any of our songs. It's the one that people keep coming to us and saying, I really love this song. Like it's you know, it's my favorite one. I'm like, you just never know. You never know. And you can't intentionally write songs to be like, this has to be the hit. Like you just kind of have to write from, you know, it's cheesy, but like write from your heart or write from your gut and let it be, because, you know, it's not yours once it's out. And that's a great example. I think
that's why it hit, because you did write it with your heart. And I am of the belief that when you put your heart out there, especially when it's in any form of art, mm-hmm. the true people that are looking will always find it.
Yeah.
It's the people that aren't looking that don't want to pay attention to it or don't want to, you know, give it a chance, right? But there's always someone looking for that. And it doesn't take away from Wearing Thin or Hold It Down. I also love Jasmine. It's just something that I might play for somebody. But it's just one of those things that you can tell in who the artist is through some of their songs. And I think that's what caught me about it, because I listened to the EP. I listened to your first album, and then the EP came out, and I struggled over and over again. I listened to it. Probably had to listen to it. So at least I gotta say probably 25 times. So at least, so hopefully I made you 4 cents on Spotify.
Hell yeah, dude. Thank you.
But I listened to it over and over again because I'm like, I don't know which one. And then I slowed it down and lit a candle here in the studio like I do, and I put it on my speakers, turned off the lights, and sat down and listened to it. And then all of a sudden, I waited for that moment, and it happens when it's supposed to. I got goosebumps.
That's so cool, dude.
So as soon as I get goosebumps, I'm like, that's it. That's the song. That's the fucking song.
That's so cool to know that someone on the other side of the world does the exact same thing as me. Because that's what I'll like find a new album or artist or whatever, and I'll just sit in the living room and like spin it through my sound system, you know, sit there with a glass of wine, and I'm sure Brandy's asking me to do something, and unfortunately I can't pay attention to 2 things at once. I've just got to sit there and like soak it in. But that's really special, man. Thank you for giving it the time.
And that's where I fucking hate the world that we're in now, where you can just skip through it because you heard it once and it just wasn't for you at that time. Yeah. But to be able to take the time, and it's kind of what I'm trying to do here, man. I'm trying to give people the time to understand what it is to actually enjoy music, and actually the time that you put into creating it for us. You know, people, I think, take it for granted every day. The hard work and passion, heart and soul that you put into it to put it out there. And I think it's really important. And when I get goosebumps, that's it. That's when I'm like, all right, fuck it, reaching out to these guys. They got to be on, because
dude, that's
you don't get that with everybody.
Thank you so much, man. That's really cool.
Well, thank you for creating the music that brought us together, because that's the important thing, right? Listen, you're in Australia. Yeah. I'm in New Jersey right now, and we're just fucking...
We're hanging,
talking about music. Like, that's what... There's not many things in the world that can do that.
Yeah, very few. I wish food could do it, but I can't ship food across the world, so...
All right, last song you cried to.
Ooh, shit. I've probably cried to a song more recently, but it's not hitting the memory bank. The last one I recall hitting me so hard that I teared up. Shit, I need to remember what the song was called. Her name's Juliet Sunflower. She actually recorded with my friend Andrew over in Nashville as well. She's got the coolest voice. The song is called, I think it's called Salt of the Earth. Yeah, Juliet Sunflower, Salt of the Earth.
Well, now
the
I
chorus
know what
kicks
I'll listen
in
to afterwards.
Her, she's got a beautiful voice, and just a really cool, calm storytelling, songwriting style about her. It was very cool. That was actually a couple of years ago. I think I was on the tram in Melbourne on my way to work, and she just released it. And Andrew was like, "Hey, check this out." And I put it on, and I'm like walking into work, rubbing my eyes, and I was like, "You okay, man?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm good. Just a really good song."
I've done that before. Like, all of it just hits me, because I'll always have my earbuds in, and I'm like walking through an airport or whatever, and someone's there to pick me up for work, and like I get in the car and like, "You okay, man?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good."
Hey, fever.
Yeah, it's. It's this Kentucky weather. It's just different. I'm not used to it.
Yeah. Dust in my eyes.
All right. World's going to end in 5 minutes. A meteor's going to crash into the earth, and you have to listen to one song. What one song are you listening to?
Oh, shit. It's The End of the World by R.E.M.
All right. It's up there on what people choose here.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I was trying to be funny. Damn it. I actually hate that song. I'm not going to lie. I love R.E.M., but that song drives me crazy. I also get it confused for the theme song from Friends, and they're not the same song or the same artist, but they're both equally annoying.
Yeah, I'll be there for, right? I'll be there for you.
Yeah. And then the next chorus is, "It's the end of the..."
Same song. Same song.
End of the world, last song. Shit. Man, I knew this question was coming too, and I thought I had something prepared.
You didn't, and
and now it shows.
I usually know when someone's prepared because it's way too fast.
Yeah. No, see, I had prepared the R.E.M. one because I thought it'd be funny, but it's
not funny. Sorry, fail. No, the show was going so good.
Damn it! No, you know what? Honestly, I would probably just put like one of my playlists on shuffle and see what happens.
Yeah, see what songs.
Because like you got 5 minutes, dude. You got like I'm taking more than 5 minutes to answer the damn question. How am I? It's done. World's over.
Yeah,
I've missed my chance. I'm just gonna.
That's why that playlist. I already have the playlist, and for the end of the world, and it's just one song, so I know I just go to it and hit it.
Which one's yours?
Over the Rainbow, Ray Charles version.
Oh, sick, dude! Damn. Here I am thinking of like songs that just came out, and I didn't even go back into the catalogs.
Yeah, it's my wedding song. It was also my beloved sister's favorite song when she was a little girl before she passed away. I have the sheet music tattooed on my arm. Like that's sick. What I'm listening to. So.
Okay, you've inspired me. Can I change my answer?
You can.
All right, it's At Last by Etta James.
All right.
That was my wedding song, and that's probably the other song that makes me cry every time I hear it.
So I'll tell it if you want to hear a quick story about that song.
Let me know.
My wife will back it up. So I had just met my wife.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't dating. We had recently met. no dates yet, no nothing. And we were at a bar. We had met at a bar back in the
You're
day
just
before
staring at her.
swiping. And we had talked a little bit, and I was like, I'm going to play some music. And she's like, all right, well, get me, because I want to pick some songs with you. And I was like, all right, whatever. This is only the second time we've ever been together. And at times you just know, like, I was just like, this, she's just totally different. Like, it is not like anybody else I've ever met. There's something, I don't know what it is, but I know this is 1000% different than anyone else I ever dated, anyone else I ever, like, there's something different here. So I go over to play some music. I didn't come and get her. She runs over to me as I've already picked out songs. And she's like, I thought you were coming to get me. I said, well, I wanted to play our wedding song. And at that moment, Etta James At Last came on.
Ooh, that's so cool.
And that wasn't our wedding song, but that's what
but it was mine.
That's yours. But once we said I do, and the walking out, they played At Last. And
that's so cool.
She's like, that was such a line. Like, I never thought about it. I go, it was a line that I used once and it worked. So
good, man.
And here we are 16 years later and been together for 20 years. So it fucking worked. So
that's awesome.
We all win with Etta James.
Hell yeah. She's the queen.
She is. Oh man. Wow. We're kicking it. So it's Saturday night here by me, Sunday afternoon by you. So Sunday I don't want to take your, Sunday morning. It's because now 11. I'm an early riser, so afternoon for me starts at 10.
Me too. Oh, really?
That's the way I look at it. Like, I can eat lunch at 10 and I'm okay with it. Like, that's that's fair. Listen, I'm not old enough to have supper at like 4:00 in the afternoon, but I can have lunch at 10 if I have to.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I got a newborn. Well, he's what, 4 months old now, little baby boy,
still new. So
yeah, we are early risers now, whether we like it or not.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to take away from your family time. So before we get into our last segment, I'd love for you to tell everybody here how to find what it is you're doing, how to support the band by buying CDs or merch or anything. Tell everybody out there how to find what it is that WIFECULT is doing. Not White Cult.
Not White Cult. Nope. You can find WIFECULT on Instagram. We did some live session videos that are up on YouTube. We have a website, wifecult.com. But yeah, I mean, if you want to check us out on Spotify, give us a spin. We've got some stuff on Bandcamp as well. But if you want to support us, honestly, like, word of mouth is still the most powerful thing. So, like, tell your homies to check us out as well. If you want a shirt, buy a shirt. But I'm trying really hard to not feel like a singing t-shirt salesman.
But listen,
one seems to be the only way you can make money.
Yeah, one t-shirt equals 5,000 Spotify spent. So that's why I tell people, buy a fucking t-shirt, man.
Yeah, buy a shirt. I want to get some vinyl done, so I'll let y'all know when that happens. But honestly, like, if people just want to listen and enjoy it and pass it on, like, that's more than enough for me.
Well, we will be passing on as much as we can, because this has been awesome to have you here. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Dude,
I truly mean that. Thank you for giving me the feels when I listen to your music. Thank you for creating music. Thank you for putting your heart and soul out there for us to judge.
Thank you.
Which, takes a lot of courage. So
thanks for spending the time. Like, it's people like you and our other friends and listeners that actually make the time and create the space to dive into art and appreciate it. Like, it's why half the reason why I do what I do is just to get it off my chest. And, it's like a self-serving therapy session sometimes, but, like,
that's what this is for me, man. It's a, as I called it, a selfish, selfless act.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's for me, but I truly want to help you. Like, that's really what it is. Yeah.
No, it's good, man. I'm so grateful for anyone out there who's digging the tunes and spending the time.
Well, I love it. And now we're going into our weekly 3 segment where you guys appeared. on our show. It's 3 things you're listening to right now that you'd like people to check out.
Yeah, dude. Okay, this I did prepare for. At the moment, there's a band from Melbourne called RVG. They just put out a record called Brainworms. They're amazing. Super cool, dark, jangly, surf, kind of goth sort of stuff. It's very, very cool.
Nice.
What else? There's a band, I'm not exactly sure where they're from in the States, but they're called Praise. They put out a record last year called All in a Dream. Daniel Fang, the drummer from Turnstile, plays drums in Praise as well. It's really cool, hardcore, mixed with like kind of 80s jangly punk, chorusy guitars. I've been loving that record. And Joe Van, his new record, For Everyone. He's the singer from the band From Indian Lakes, but his solo stuff is really pretty and some really fun, kind of catchy songs on this record. He writes a lot of kind of darker, sadder stuff, but this album in particular feels quite light, which I'm really connecting with because I'm in a state at the moment where I'm not super depressed. So I'm enjoying music again.
That's awesome. Awesome 3. My 3 for this week. My first one is a band called Magazine Beach, indie band out of Washington, D.C. They have an album called Constant Springtime. You're looking for just that indie, nice vibe that's out there, even though sometimes indie isn't indie anymore, but it really is, it has that old school, I'd say 90s indie feel to it, which is really cool.
Cool. Next
is Angelus Aprida. It is, so I'll spell it out for people if you want to check it out. It's ANGELUSAPATRIDA. It's a self-titled album. They're thrash metal from Spain. And
cool.
I gotta say, it is one of the best thrash metal albums in the past 5 years that I've heard.
Oh, sick. I'm going to check that out.
And last but not least is a band that if you grew up in the early aughts, you probably heard it. Probably didn't know who was who, but the name of the band is Marvelous 3. You may know who the individual is who was in that band. His name was Butch Walker.
Oh, sick.
So what he's done now is taken that early aughts before they split up and had like a quick hit on MTV, and he brought the band back together.
Dope.
And they just released 2 songs. One of them's called My Old School Metal Heart.
Cool.
And his album's dropping. The new album drops October 13th, so I'm stoked for the entire fucking thing. But there's 2 songs if you go check out the single. But it's just like, I love Butch Walker so much, and to see this and be like, you know what, fuck it, let's do this again is pretty fucking cool. So
yeah, that's sick.
But those are my 3 for this week.
Awesome.
But Jarith, again, thank you. A million thank yous. Thank you so much,
man. Thank you
for doing what you do. Thank you for creating what brought us together. And, thank you for being you, and thank you for spending time with us. This is awesome. I really enjoyed our time together. I want nothing but awesome things for you guys, because I truly believe in you, and I love what you got going on. And I know our listeners that haven't heard it are going to fucking love it once they do. So I'm really excited for good things for you guys.
Dude, that's so cool. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. And I was super excited to do this. I love talking about music, and I feel like people usually want to shut me up when I start talking about music. So I'm just really grateful to have the space to chat with you. And thank you.
Well, I can't wait to do it again once you blow up and, become as big as I think you should be with the amazing tunes you got. So don't forget the little guys.
Oh, not at all, man. Not at all.
But everybody, you know what time it is now. It's time to go out, listen to WIFECULT, and have a great fucking time.
Night through the Unbearable as death, just harder to find. And the candle's burning low. Think twice before you say rose by any other name. Someday we'll alleviate. Does it have to be this way? Don't put it in the air, not just yet. Don't throw it all away. Fill me up a glass. Let us savor the taste. If there's kindness and clarity, tell me what it is you want from me. Because the candle's burning low, and you won't pick up the phone. Like drawing blood from a stone. Think twice before you say rose by any other name. Someday we'll alleviate. Does it have to be this way? Don't put it in the air, not just yet. Don't throw it all away. Don't throw it all away. Think twice before you say it, my rose.
Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HiddenTracks99. Also, send all your submissions myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band, and don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.